I have watched two engineers build the same agent task. Same model, same prompt, same data. Two completely different results. One of them was not wrong. One of them was wired differently. And that's a lesson most teams have not learned yet. Most teams arguing about agents today are arguing about the wrong layer. Claude versus GPT. Opus versus Sonnet. Open source versus closed. All real conversations, but none of them are the ones that matters most. The model is one variable. The architecture around the model is 6 or 7. And every one of them moves the outcome more than swapping the model ever will. Every serious agent today is built at least 2 architecture layers. The first is tool connectivity. MCP standardized this. Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google all adopted. Your agent can call tools, hit APIs, talk to systems. The second is procedural knowledge, skills, markdown-based instructions loaded into every agent run. Reusable, composable, solved. Both of those are widely deployed. Both have standards. Both have ecosystems. But there is a layer above both that no one has settled yet. The layer where your agent's actual experience lives. What it has solved. What worked, what did not. This is an open architectural question. And one of the teams trying to answer it is the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by EvoMap. EvoMap is the infrastructure layer that sits above MCP and skills in an agent architecture. It is built on GAP, EvoMap's open specification for agent experience. When your agent solves a real problem, GAP lets you package that results as a gene capsule. A gene is a reusable strategy. A capsule is a verified record of a real successful run, with an environment fingerprint showing exactly when and where the approach worked. Any agent, across models, frameworks, or teams, can inherit that capsule and skip the resolve entirely. Now, EvoMap just launched an API grant for open source contributors. If you have a qualified repo, you can verify your profile in under a minute. Credits land instantly, with no waitlist and no extra steps. If you have a repo with over 1,000 stars, you unlock a premium award, $100 in API credits instantly. The more you contribute with genes, capsules, and real agent workflows, the more credits you earn. And those credits gives you access to frontier models like GPT 5.5, Claude Opus 4.7, and Gemini. Link in the description. If you build AI agent and you have public repo, this is worth your time. Alright, back to the architecture argument. Let me show you 2 patterns I see that make or break agent systems most often. Both of them change nothing about the model. Both of them change the output completely. Pattern 1, how your agent remembers. Most agents use retrieval, vector embedding, search to what looks similar to the current request, paste it into the prompt, and hope for the best. It works for simple cases. It breaks at scale. Here's the problem. Embeddings know distance. They don't know edges. An embedding can tell you that 2 pieces of code look similar. It cannot tell you that one calls the other. It cannot show you that deleting one breaks the other. It cannot map a real relationship between 2 solved problems. If your agent's memory is retrieval only, every new problem is a fresh search. There is no structure. There is no history. There is no map. The pattern that works at scale is structured memory. Same model, same prompt, same data. But now the agent has a structured graph of past work and the connection between it. Not a search index, a map. The agent stops searching and starts reasoning. Pattern 2. How are your agents organized? Most teams ships one agent that does everything. One prompt, one model, one loop. plan, execute, validate, and finally retry, all in the same context. It is the fastest version to build, but it's also the first version to collapse. Here's what happens at scale. The model has to switch modes constantly. One moment it is reasoning about strategy. The next moment it is calling a tool. The next moment it is judging its own output. Each mode pulls in different contexts. Each mode needs different reasoning, and the model is stuck doing all of it inside one prompt. The result is what every developer has seen at least once. The agent forgets what it was supposed to do halfway through. The output drifts. The try loop fires. The talking bill climbs. The pattern that holds up is a specialized topology. A router decides where the work goes. A planner breaks the task apart. An executor runs it. A validator checks the result. Each one has a narrow job and a clean context. Same model behind every role. But now, each role only sees what it needs to do its job. No mode switching, no context pollution, no drift. 4 more patterns I will not unlock today, but each one moves the needle the same way. Verification loops, agents that judge their own output before they ship it. Tool routing, explicit logic that decides which tool gets called instead of the model guessing. Context management, what the model sees, in what order, with what scope. State persistence, what carries across runs versus what resets every turn. Here's the rule I wanted to leave with. If your agent is failing, the model is rarely the reason. It is the wiring around it almost always is. Same model, same prompt, same data. 6 architecture choices. Exponential difference in outcome. The reason most agent systems feel unreliable, it's not the model behind them. It is the architecture nobody chose intentionally. Stop tuning the model and start tuning the architecture. If you are arguing with your team about which model to use, stop that argument. Look at the architecture first. Walk through the 6. Memory, topology, verification, routing, context, and state. Each one is a lever. Most teams pull none of them. And the one who pulls all 6 ships agents that can actually work. Finally, keep building, keep verifying, stop blaming the model, and I will see you in the next one.